I'm an Ohio State fan, so I'm going to watch Ohio State usually no matter what, although they are playing Grambling coming up this weekend. So that one may be over quick. That could be like 70-0. Although you don't want to show Grambling disrespect, but that one is not going to be a great game. However, Ohio State, Texas, pretty good game, at least on the scoreboard. Now, it wasn't the most exciting game, obviously. You're thinking maybe you could get some decent offense. Obviously, both teams have a really good defense, and that played out. But you had two young gunslingers, unproven, but really highly touted quarterbacks, Arch Manning and Julian Sayin. And man, there was not a lot of offense to be got in that game. However, though, before we start breaking that one down, let's talk about the pregame, because I do think it was cool. College game day with Lee Corso. I was never really into game day watching it. I've never watched it religiously. I'm the type of person where if Ohio State's playing it's 11 o'clock because I live in the central time zone. If Ohio State's playing at 11, and they do a lot, I know people complain about that. A lot of the big Buckeye games are at noon Eastern. But if Ohio State's playing at 11, then I'm trying to get stuff done in the morning, stuff with the kids. Maybe they have a game, try to get to the gym, whatever it is, and then just lock in 5-10 minutes before the game. So I've never really been a big college game day person, but obviously I've seen it over the years. And I do think it was very cool the way they went out with Lee Corso. And they said they're going to do it in a way they'd never done it before, and they're out on the field. You're thinking, is he going to dot the I? Is he going to dot the I with the band? Which he didn't do, but still it was very cool. He had the tuxedo on. And what did Lee Corso say? My first love, the first mascot head he put on was Brutus. Brutus, the nice headgear, and then he did it again for his final prediction. And then I saw what? Did he get every single prediction right? So good on Lee Corso. That was cool to see. All right, back to the game. So, look, here's what was really entertaining to me. The game wasn't that entertaining. Now, fourth quarter got a little interesting, but once Arch Manning started playing and performing poorly, man, the memes on Twitter were so funny. So funny. And I was tweeting this out myself. I wonder if college football Twitter is the funniest of all Twitters. Is it funnier than political Twitter? I mean, the memes came fast and furious, and like a picture of JFK in his older years, if he would have lived, and it said, this is JFK if Arch Manning was the shooter. I mean, all kinds of and worse than that. So you can just, you can go and check on X, but they were really, really funny. And look, I think it was deserved. And some people are saying, oh, this is the media's fault for hyping up Arch Manning too much. And yeah, did the media hype up Arch Manning a lot? They did. But also, I mean, it's year 3 for this dude. He's a Manning. By the way, he was in every commercial. Seems like a good kid, but he was in every commercial in between play. And it's like at the beginning, you're watching him play and he's not very good. And then you go to whatever it was, the Ori commercial or the sunglasses, the eyeglasses commercial that he was in there. And I thought Arch Manning looked rattled early. I actually thought, when I tweeted this, I thought he looked yippy. I thought he had the yips a little bit. Now, a lot of people way smarter than I in football are saying that Matt Patricia's defense was just right on point in terms of disguising coverages. And I get that as well, but still, like, some of his early throws, he's skipping the ball off the turf and throwing the ball behind guys and throwing at dudes' shoe tops and all that. So I thought he looked nervous, honestly. And credit goes to Matt Patricia, who, by the way, I never really liked. So now, as an Ohio State fan, I feel like I do have to like Matt Patricia. But, I mean, he dialed it up, and he had just an absolutely picture-perfect game plan. But also, it looked like Arch Manning had time to throw. And I don't know if he was seeing ghosts out there, but he looked bad to me. And I understand it's on the road, first big game, first big start, first road start. Ohio State's defense is elite. It's going to be just packed with NFL players. But I was really, really unimpressed, actually. I was really unimpressed with Arch Manning. And I hope he plays better moving forward. I got nothing against the kid, but like based on all the hype, and I'm not somebody who watches all the games. I never have been the last several years since I've been out of TV especially. So I'm watching Ohio State. So I've heard of the hype about Arch Manning. And I looked and I guess he started a couple games last year, and I think he started against Mississippi State. So that's decent competition. But I just expected him to be pretty good in this game. I expected Julian Sayin to be pretty good. I think Julian Sayin was better than Arch Manning. But I think as that game progressed, Ryan Day just kind of realized what they had to do to win. And I think he was super, super conservative. And it worked out, even though in the end it's a one-score game and Texas and Arch Manning have the chance to tie it there at the end. But I never really thought Ohio State was going to lose that game. After a few minutes in, a quarter in, whatever it was, I didn't really think Ohio State was going to lose that game. Also, glad Ohio State is number one in the country. And I don't even want to say I don't care, but that was the right pick. I saw some people on ESPN, I think it was Booger McFarland, even suggested Penn State should be number one. It's like, what are we talking about here? And then someone else, was it Heather Dinich? I don't know all the names, but I feel like she said, LSU because their win on the road versus Clemson. And I'm just thinking to myself, we're trying too hard here, folks. I understand ESPN is in bed with the SEC. We know Fox is in bed with the Big Ten, but like we're overthinking things. And I give LSU credit. That's a big win on the road, Clemson. But like Ohio State is the defending national champs. They won. They beat the number one team in the country. Their defense was just off the charts good. Ohio State should be number one. They were ranked number one, and it wasn't even close. So that was good to see.